Turn off your TVs, run for your lives. It's over. They didn't put you on this planet just to give up. If Uncle Joey could do it, I could fucking rule the world. That's what you gotta be thinking.
Welcome back to church, motherfucker!
This is when you really bump up in when you're around. You'll see the difference of open micers feeling bad and, you know, being angry at people for being a little better than them or for getting a gig as a co-MC. And then fucking, you know, you go to another place where it's a different attitude now. It's really, it's the things that most people won't understand. You know, if I talk to Led Zeppelin, they would go, listen, the parties were great, the orgies were great, but the true hang was after we got off stage, when we told people for 30 minutes we didn't want to be bothered.
Right, where they're just going over there. I would imagine it's the same for all of them. And it was cool at the LA Comedy Club because there was a 6 o'clock show, 8 o'clock show, and 10 o'clock show. So I met all of the cool comics on the 6 o'clock. One of the guys who is on the 6 o'clock show was doing open mics with me at the Fourth Wall. And he has a 7-day-a-week gig at the Strat opening the 6 o'clock show. Brett Ernst and Butch Bradley were doing the 10 o'clock shows at like the late ones. And I got to it was the hang. It was like getting to like hear from their point of view, how they viewed comedy. And then I watched not every minute of it, but I watched all of those guys do their shows and how they approach things. And like Brett I noticed like he sat down a lot of his sets. So I would watch that and how he would like when he would stand up, like what if he was trying to like get some emotion out of people or something.
Brett's a pro.
Brett's great. Yeah. Bro was so funny.
You know, it's these guys now finding their groove. And I'm sitting back here loving it. Because I remember where these guys were up at 1:15 in the morning. And we would talk in the back, and they didn't know when Mitzi was going to see him again. And it's such a fucking in-the-moment struggle. You're in the moment, and you go minute to minute. You don't know how you're going to feel. You know, that's why I never really liked talking shit around comedians. Like, you know, I got a spot at the Improv at 10:40. Yeah, you're just making other guys feel bad.
Right.
You know, this is supposed to be a community. And I don't know. There's something like improving. Listen, this goes back to the old adage, Lee, and I'm really proud of you for this. I'm really proud of Eric. It takes a lot of pride to not get a job as a doorman, security guard. You know, when I got into comedy, I knew it was like anything else. I got a job. I took the comedy class like in December. And from January to May, I shut my mouth, Lee. And I carried buckets of ice. And I fucking put on stupid music and had to move the lights around. And I had to load the beer case. But the whole time I had an ear open, you know. And the most important thing was, since I did the music for the comics, it was a C room.
Okay.
Right, you know. Since I did the music for them and the lights and the explosives, I got to talk to them. And then when I got the broker, I finally got on stage in July and I got the broker like in December. And when I got the broker, if the comic was really cool, there was a gap in their schedule. So Tuesday night you did the broker, then Wednesday you were off. That sucks when you're on the road.
Because you have to pay for a hotel?
You pay for the hotel. So if the headliner was cool, I'd invite him over, sleep over. And in the morning, we'd talk comedy, or at night, we'd talk comedy. And they would give me a list of bookers, even though I wasn't ready. And I knew it. They would give me a bunch of shit to prepare me. And I looked at names that were there that are probably still there today, you know, then today. So it's such a fucking journey.
And it's cool, like, the way I was thinking about it with Nick was like it's almost like you're on like let's say you're on like the Oregon Trail or something, and you meet someone who is already somewhere like way down the road, and they're like, look out, there's snakes here. And like getting to talk to Brett and Ernst and Brett and Nick and all those people, they would talk about like, here's what you look for when you're trying to sign with a manager. This is what the manager's supposed to do from his point of view. Here's what you're supposed to do when you're reaching out. And like they were just giving me like at least what worked for them. And it might not work for me, but like just their point of view of things.
Listen, what works for you ain't gonna work for them, and what works for them isn't gonna work for you. But there's something in between.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you seem to attack.
And
something
even
in between that your mind and his mind could put something together a little bit better than your idea, because he's been at it. And, you know, again, our egos are like, no, I have a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
You know, listen, what's the difference between a 5-year comic and a 15-year comic? If I go to a 5-year comic and go, listen, I want to buy the story of your life, but I'm not going to use you as a lead. Okay? He'll throw a fit. Where a 15-year comic will go, I don't care who the fuck you use as a lead. Just throw me a check. Use me every week. Keep me off the road for 10 episodes, and I'm in. You know, it's really weird what we'll do 5 years in, 10 years in, 15 years in, and 20 years in.
It sounds like it's an ego thing.
Always. Once you let ego get in the way of comedy, you're done. You lost that week. Once you you're featuring and you're like, people told me I'm better than the headliner. Meanwhile, he's up there getting standing ovations.
Right.
And you're in the back because 8 people told you you're better than the fucking headliner. So you're sitting back there like, yeah, let me see how I can fucking corner this guy. You go up there one night and you plan everything, lighting your toes on fire, giving you A material. You're going to steal jokes, the whole fucking thing. And you go up there and you think you buried him. And this guy comes out with another set and a different wig and a different fucking pair of sandals or whatever the fuck he's doing. And it's always very interesting. I fucking hate when shit got. And listen, I'm smart enough to know even then, like I knew a comic that came to me one day and he's like, fuck Ralphie May. And I'm looking at him like, what? And he's like, yeah, when I work with him, people tell me I'm funnier than he is, blah, blah, blah. I don't know where that motherfucker is today.
And like because I'm not like above admitting there are times I've done shows where I'm like, oh, I'm better than this guy. But then like, especially with headliners who are like really seasoned, I'm like, oh, this is his 6th hour that he's written. The jokes that I'm doing are all my jokes that I've written for my entire career. So
listen, the first special is always easy. It's like the first album. It's dynamite. You've had your whole career to work on it.
Right.